Hi, this is Kelly Brown, and today we're going to talk about how to use Excel to calculate a simple math equation. Okay, so if we look over here in our worksheet to the left, we see we have a cell for price, a cell for quantity, and a cell for total cost. So if I were about to buy some books and I had a budget I wanted to stay under, I could do a calculation here. You do want to notice that when you're working with Excel, a typical mathematical equation would look like this: 2 multiplied by 12 equals 24. We were all familiar with that. But if I were to enter the same calculation in Excel, I would have to format it differently. First thing with Excel is that the equal sign comes first. That equal sign is telling Excel that a math equation is coming, and it must appear first in the cell. Then you would enter the 2 like you normally would, but instead of X or a cross for the multiplication symbol, you would choose a asterisk. Asterisk designates multiplication in Excel. Then you would enter the number 12, and that's how you would enter the math equation. When you're working with Excel, a minus is a minus, the same way we would know as a typical math equation, and a plus is a plus, the same way we would use it today in a typical math equation. I've already mentioned that multiplication instead of the X is an asterisk, and when you're doing division in Excel, it is designated with a backslash, not the division symbol we're used to where it says dot line dot. Okay, so those are things to keep in mind when you're doing equations in Excel. And if I entered something here, a book I found that I liked cost $12.59, and I wanted to buy 3 of them, and I wanted to see how much that cost. So if I'm working with how I must enter in a math equation like this, the first thing I have to do is enter the equal sign. And then I don't enter the number. I click in the cell that has the amount that I want to calculate. So I want to calculate 1259 times 3. So first I'm going to click in the cell that contains the 1259. And you see when I click in the cell, there's dancing lines. But in the cell that has the answer, it provides a cell reference. 1259 is contained in cell A3. You see that the cell is selected. You see up here it says it said cell A3. And you see it's column A and row 3, which is cell A3. So that's why cell A3 is there. Then I want to multiply. So to multiply, use the asterisk, which is Shift 8. And I want to multiply it by 3. So I don't type in 3. I click in the cell that contains the 3, which is cell B3, which is the cell reference for this location. Again, column B, row 3 is cell B3, and that's what I see. So this is how it would show up in Excel. You might notice that it also appears up here in the formula bar. Whatever in a cell in Excel will also appear in the formula bar. So I'm multiplying the contents of cell A3 times the contents of cell B3. And if I want to see the answer, I hit the Enter key. When I hit the Enter key, I get the amount. It's this times this equals this. Well, say that's good, but I want to see how many 5 cost. If I click in the cell that had quantity and just simply type in 5, the 3 will change to a 5. And to get to see what the new calculation would be, all I have to do is hit the Enter key. When I hit the Enter key, it automatically recalculates. The 1259 is over here. Say I found another book, but it only cost $9.59, so I'm going to change the amount. But nothing changes until I hit the Enter key. When I hit the Enter key, then it will recalculate. I have now hit the Enter key, and you see that the amount has changed. So that is how you would enter a simple math equation in Excel.